Every single day, countless founders pour their soul into a dream, only to hear nothing back. Silence, the call that never comes. It's brutal. It's gut-wrenching. The kind of rejection that doesn't just say no, it shouts, "You don't belong." And for angel investors, this silence isn't random noise. It's a deep, pervasive signal that cracks open the truth nobody wants to admit. Why do most startups get ghosted before anyone even picks up the phone? The answer is raw, uncomfortable, and it cuts through the comfortable lies the world feeds us. First, let's strip away the usual nonsense. It's not just about lack of a killer product or some market fit cliche. It's far beneath the surface. Startups get ignored because the people behind them simply don't understand what it really takes to break free. Not from a system, but from the predictable, from the herd, from the cage disguised as freedom. Angel investors are looking for more than spreadsheets and fancy decks. They hunt for fire. True, unfiltered fire. A willingness to burn down everything comfortable and rebuild from the ashes. If a founder shows up playing it safe, mimicking the templates, parroting buzzwords, they become invisible. No callback, no interest. Angel investors don't fund drones. They join rebels building something that rattles the world. Most founders drown in the crippled version of themselves, handed down by an obedient world. A world that says, fit in, follow the plan, don't rock the boat. You can see it in pitches that sound like rehearsed speeches, like they have been digitally copied 1,000 times over. There's no soul, no crack in the armor, no glimpse of a person who refuses to settle. And that's the problem. The world lies to founders, telling them the rules are their friend. But those rules murder originality. That obedience cloaks mediocrity and suffocates fire. Angel investors sense this. They can smell the conformity. Silence is their way of shutting out the noise of the average, because they won't waste energy chasing what the system approves. What's even more painful is knowing that inside many founders burns a shot of raw potential, but it's buried beneath layers of shoulds, scripts, and fear of standing alone. Angel investors don't want just ideas. They want transformation, in the founder, in the project, and in the vision. They want that relentless self-reinvention, the kind that scares the safe and excites the bold. The ones who never stop questioning themselves and the world around them. When you see a startup that doesn't get a call back, know this isn't failure. It's a fundamental refusal to burn the existing script and write a new one. Without that refusal, no connection, no spark, no investment. Now let's lay it all bare. What can founders do to break through this invisible wall? To not just get a call back, but open a lasting magnetic relationship. How do you rip open the cage the world gave you and create a signal angel investors can't ignore? First, drop everything you think you know about pitching. This isn't about impressing with numbers or jargon. It's about communion. Investors want to hear a scream of authenticity that tears through screens and decks. Speak your truth with brutal honesty. Own your failures openly, not as excuses, but as badges of war. Investors trust the founder who admitted the worst and learned instead of hiding behind facade or perfection. This rawness is permission to be human, to be real, to be dangerous. Second, show relentless evolution. The world sits comfortably in stories of overnight success or perfect solutions. Angel investors live in the trenches of constant change. Tell your story as one of unlearning and rebirth, not just vision. Prove you are not stuck in old frameworks handed down by the system, but are capable of tearing them down and reassembling your startup in response to reality. They invest in the journey of becoming, not just the shiny at the end. Third, build a tribe of equals before seeking investment. Investors bet on founders who don't walk alone, who ignite and fuel collective power. Surround yourself ruthlessly with those who challenge you, who won't let you sleep on comfort or status quo. Angel investors respect those who respect the power of the few, the rare who push harder and question louder. If your network is the same snooze fest, it's a signal you play small and no one calls back small. Fourth, be patient. This cannot be overstated. The fiery entrepreneur rushing to close rounds screaming now or never smells desperation to investors. Great things don't happen overnight because investors aren't betting on a moment. They're betting on an era of relentless purpose. If you rush, you betray your fire. You become a match trying to light a hurricane, but blowing out your own flame. Patience is your ally. Eternity favors founders who hold the long game like a sacred vow. Fifth, be intentionally selective. This isn't about flooding every inbox like a desperate salesman. Angel investors want to feel chosen, handpicked. Founders need to demonstrate that they're not hunting for the quickest buck, but the rare co-creator who shares the relentless will to shape the future differently. Study who truly aligns with your fierce mission. Go after only those few whose fire complements your own. This kind of alignment crafts legendary partnerships. It tells investors you're not just another number, but a sovereign player forging your own reality. Lastly, understand this. The world will always try to bury your fire beneath comfort and convenience. It promises freedom while building cages of conformity. Founders must reject this seductive trap with everything they are. Angel investors don't want a founder who is a charming worker bee in a gilded hive. They want revolutionaries, boundary breakers, those who burn their bridges so brightly behind them that there is no path back to the old. So, no phone call? Maybe that silence is a mirror, a challenge screaming, "What fire haven't you shown? What edges haven't you cut into yet? What truth haven't you shouted loud enough for the rebels who see the future to hear you?" Angel investors exist not to bless comfort, but to partner with those who refuse it. Not to fund the obedient, but to invest in the exceptional. Not to close deals, but to unlock legacies. Every founder who gets ghosted carries this pain, but it's not a call for defeat. It is a crack in the universe offering one chance to rise, to transcend what was taught, what was safe, what was sold as progress, to burn so bright that silence becomes impossible. To stand not just for a startup, but for an uprising of rare souls daring to remake what comes next. This message goes beyond startups and investors. It's a call for every soul sick of waiting, tired of being processed by the system's lies, aching to seize their fierce, untamed power. Angel investors don't just invest capital. They invest in the becoming of individuals unbound by rules, limits, fear. They're waiting for those who refuse compromises, who know that real freedom means relentless transformation and the courage to be utterly yourself, even when it isolates you. So if your startup didn't get a call back, don't drown in the silence. Burn into it your promise that you will become more. Question everything you thought was true. Break what needs breaking. Build what needs building. Connect with the few who ignite your fire like no others can. And above all, hold patience like it was the last breath you have, because it is the only way to win. The quiet is brutal, but it holds a secret. It demands fire, real fire. And in that flame, an investor's call is born. The question is, how fiercely will you burn to deserve it?